What's up, Dragon Ball Supers? Welcome back to Crossworld CCG. My name's Logan, and again today we have another interview with my buddy Josh. Say hello to the crowd, Josh.
How's it going?
And today we're going to be covering the Pan Gogeta list that he played against me on that match commentary video that we posted about a week ago. Overall, a really cool deck. You have any opening thoughts for us?
No, just very fun to play.
Yeah. Starting off with the Pan leader, that classic leader from set 3. I know you've been playing this forever. This has been your go-to leader of choice. What other variants have you played with this?
Red, blue, triple flash, mono red, whatever I can throw in there.
Basically just all the good stuff?
Yeah.
And then what drew you to playing Pan Gogeta?
I actually started this off as a mono blue type deck, and then like Gogeta was the obvious choice for mono blue.
Great finisher.
Yeah. Part of the reason why I also wanted to play mono blue was because I wanted more red cards. Or not, sorry. I wanted the Vegeta cards in there, the good Vegeta cards, so I wanted to be able to play more red. So it kind of became more red-blue.
So, like, talking about the Vegeta cards, we have, like, the Sneak Attack Vegeta, which I'm assuming is what you started with, right? For your blue one?
Yeah, in the main blue cards I really wanted to build the deck around were Sneak Attack Vegeta and Quick Thinking Gotenks.
Okay. And then why specifically Quick Thinking Gotenks in this Gogeta-centric deck?
Because he has 15k attack.
That's fair. So when he comes into play with Pan, he becomes a 20k, you draw a card, and then you swing with crit, draw another card. Pretty powerful.
Yeah.
He
abuses the 5k that you give him because he is critical. Like you never don't want to swing with him because he draws when he swings as well, and he's critical, so you're never actually like losing by drawing with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like he's like your main attacker, and then Sneak Attack was a really good secondary option.
Seems pretty good. Seems like it's a similar effect, but you instead of drawing 2 cards, you only draw 1. Like critical, you force the stack, which can be awkward for your opponent. So yeah, I can see how these cards are very ssimilar to each other.
It's a lot better if they're actually trying to defend. So a lot of times you want to swing with Quick Thinking early, and then swing with Sneak Attack later, because when they have to defend out of a Sneak Attack or Sneak Attack Vegeta attack, it costs them more because of the fact they lose a card from their hand already. Whereas if they just take the Quick Thinking, defending out of a Quick Thinking Gotenks attack, you gain the card instead of them losing one.
That's true. Also, with the Sneak Attack, if they super combo, they're going to be super comboing into cards they've already seen. So it doesn't help them dig for things if they don't have it, like if they don't have the negate or anything. Well, continuing on this Vegeta train, I guess, we have, 4 double shot, standard in the Pan lists, combo into play, draw a card. And then they have this Glory Obsessed Prince of Destruction Vegeta. What are your thoughts on this card?
It's probably the best red card in Pan, with Fearless Pan being a close second. But since we're not playing a high red count, that card isn't great in this deck. So it just controls the board, and it takes care of the stuff that the Ultimate Fusion Gogeta can't. Mainly stuff with barrier.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Unlike other red decks, this doesn't play a ton of 2-drops either, so even though he is in here to clear that FR, it's not necessarily what it's going to be in here to do. That's also a really cool feature of this deck. You have a lot of 3-drops that just play around that FR. Did that go into your thinking when making this deck, or did it just kind of work out that way?
There's no good 2-drop 15k Goku or Vegetas.
That is very true. Oh, what are you talking about, dude? There's the Vanillas from the first couple sets. Those are OP.
I said good.
Okay, well. I guess we can move on to the Goku line next. You only got 7 here, starting off with Preface of Recovery. When you play this card, choose up to 2 energy, switch into active mode, and then Sneak Attack, Son Goku. When you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and return it to its owner's hand. Why did you pick these 2 specifically?
Preface is really good in this deck because it lets you to draw when you play it. With the leader, but it's only 1 energy compared to all the other 3 energies you play.
Oh, so it's kind of like double shot in that way, where it's a cheap investment, but you still get the draw off the lead.
Low investment. He's also barrier, so he stays on the board. And that's another thing about Sneak Attack Vegeta also. Like, they have to attack over it because of the barrier.
Oh yeah, that's very true. And if they don't deal with this guy, it just keeps accumulating advantage. Or keep denying your opponent advantage every turn. And
Pretty
then
much.
this Sneak Attack Goku is very interesting. I don't think this card is seen any play.
Yeah, originally he was in there for Cell Chain kind of thing. That was like his main usage outside of just being discard fodder for Gogeta or being blue energy. But he's gonna stay in there, despite the fact that Cell Chain isn't as scary anymore. But it's gonna be more used for the energy and discarding. He's also a cheaper way to get rid of cards without needing to attack compared to Gogeta.
Okay, it's pretty good. It's a 3 energy instead of a 5.
Yeah, but the main reason why he's in there is because his name is Son Goku. He's a blue 15K.
Okay, and I know you didn't play the what is it? There's a red 15K Goku that bounces itself back to hand and gives all of your stuff 5K.
It only gives your red cards 5K.
Ah, okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah, so if you don't have double shots on the board, most people will work to get your Glory Obsessed off the board. That's what I've noticed. Because the card is too strong if it stays up there.
Yeah, it clears 2 cards every single turn.
Yeah. Like double shot was the only thing that it could possibly keep. I did like the idea of like being able to bounce it back, so you always had a Goku fodder for your Gogeta play. But the active effect, like, just didn't. It came up less than Sneak Attack to Son Goku.
Okay. And then to round out that engine, we got 3 Gogeta 5 and 2 Gogeta 7. Which of these do you go into more often? How often do you actually go into this Gogeta 7 in a game?
Probably like once every other match. Honestly, he doesn't
every other match. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, because you're controlling your opponent's hand a lot with Sneak Attack Vegeta and Quick Thinking Gotenks throughout the course of the game.
Right.
So like a lot of time your opponents won't have ridiculous hand sizes against you, especially if you can get them on the back foot early.
Okay.
I actually end up going to the 5-drop a lot more just to control the board, and if I don't discard it, to draw 3. And even if I discard it, it draws the 2 cards that you discarded back, and then you draw another one for your leader.
That's pretty good.
So you're never negging it with this card. And like whenever I'm playing it, I'm getting rid of 2, and the deck doesn't have any natural double strike either. So they're great finishers, and there's really scary options that you have to be able to like control the board and control the hand essentially, and just like finish games. But a lot of times you've been controlling the game for so long that it's like out grinding your opponent becomes like really easy to do later.
Yeah, a lot of decks can run out of gas around turns 5 and 6, but it looks like your deck is basically stacked on cards that become just huge bombs on that turn. Like, you'll be able to play multiple 3-drops in a single turn.
Sometimes it's hard getting to turn 5 or 6 is the issue.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but to do that, you're playing just a ton of defensive cards. Starting off here, we have Force Senzu Bean. I don't think that needs too much of an explanation. Best blue card, untaps energy, plays great defense. But you are playing a total of 7 counterattacks between your 3 Least Coercion and 4 After Image. What made you want to play such a high negate count, or counter count?
I wanted to be able to charge both blue and red, because it is hard to find like the appropriate color, especially when you don't want to charge like your Goku or your Vegeta. So I always wanted to feel okay charging it, and when I was only playing 4 before, like I didn't want to charge those either, especially in matchups that were trying to be aggressive against me. So just playing a lot more of them was really like useful for me.
Okay.
It just fixed a lot of hands.
Okay, allows you to play longer. I know that you personally have been a big fan of playing at least close to 8 counters for a very long time now.
7's usually my number.
7? Oh, I'm sorry. I misrepresented your views. That won't happen again. But it seems really strong. It can be very frustrating to play against this many counters, especially when you're not used to someone playing so many in a deck. I know that during our match, I went in for, I think, like 4 swings in a row and got weased 3 times and then after imaged or something like that. It is absolutely absurd. Completely.
I usually try to use the after image first, like on like when the attacks that are going in for game. I usually try to use the after image first, especially if they're playing yellow in the deck. Just because like I want to save the guaranteed negates for later.
That makes sense.
I want to try and bait out like these temporary negates on on a. Also, if they don't have barrier kind of thing, you can also lower the 10k every time.
That's true. And then
So like,
yeah, no one's really gonna combo up super high against an after image early game, but they might late game, stuff like that. Whereas you just need the hard stop to their whatever tempo play they're making or whatever push they're trying to make against you.
Also, like, if they're gonna make the push against after image, they're more likely to do it later than early, especially when they see how many cards. If you like Whis twice and then after image the third one, they're more likely to not make they're more likely to make the push because you've already gotten rid of 2 cards and the after image card.
Right. So your hand size will be much lower.
Yeah. So your hand size will be much lower. So like, they'll do it. Also, they might be feeling more desperate at that point.
True. You give them a window to
try
actually
push it.
Yeah.
Especially against like a Shenron deck that use their triple attack and know they're gonna be small. So they're much more likely to push it. So you want to make sure you save the Whis' coercions for later and use the after images earlier.
Makes sense. And then continuing on with that defensive line, we talked about that double shot before, but this is a very potent card early game, leaving energy up, and then 4 pseudo combos. I know you're not a big fan of this pseudo super combo in the pan list because you typically are playing that double shot, which does the same effect but has a body on the board. Why did you opt to play them in this list?
Because I wanted red to charge.
That's fair. It's probably the best red card you could play too, or generic.
Yeah, it was. I was in this deck because I'm playing blue. I have a lot more access to free energy with Bean and stuff during my opponent's turn. So I'm playing like a Bean coercion and stuff that is free during my opponent's turn, essentially to give me more mana. So Unbreakable was live more often. Also, because you need to get past the first few turns where it's really hard. It's like pretty hard to get through them, and then around turn 4, you start just controlling the game. But I needed more defensive cards to get me to turn 4.
That makes sense. It looks like you're completely stacked on those defensive cards, and you. In most cases, I think you'll be able to get there, except against like the most aggressive decks, or if you see some like unlucky combination of cards in hand. But continuing on to the last couple cards in the deck, you got 4 intensifying power trunks. Just to help with Awakening, because there's no chain attack trunk in this list.
I also wanted a low cost attacker for the first few turns, so that way if I get something, if they play intensifying power trunks on me, I can respond with my own to get rid of it if they negate my leader swing or something like that. Yeah,
you don't want to be in a situation with like Shenron is, where the first 3 turns where you can't really pressure your opponent's board and they kind of just get free reign. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then he was also like, he's another good card that you could charge later in the game. I also like the idea of having another 1-drop, because a really common play is that you get left at 5 life, especially if you haven't shown an intensifying power trunks yet. So like I'll play like a preface for 1 energy and draw my card off my leader effect, and then play an intensifying power. Swing with it, pick up that last life, and then I can flip, and then I can awaken and untap both energy.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah, because you get full value out of both sides of your leader. You get the full untap for energy. Yeah, pretty solid. And then for the last card in the deck, we have the 4 super combos. Why did you choose Sideline Assist Bulma over, say, something like the Sparking Roshi super combo?
Sometimes in the early game, you have problems actually getting to that Sparking 5 without discarding for a fusion effect. So I just wanted something that if against aggro, it was going to be live like right when I hit 4. I didn't need the combo out of attacks before my super combo was live. I just wanted it to be live right when I got to 4, when I was starting to get scared. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay, sounds very fair. Overall, really cool deck. Really potent, honestly. Pretty dangerous playstyle. I think the Pan leader still has a lot of potential going forward. She's just a generically good leader. Like, the fact that any deck that can put out 15Ks can abuse her is just fantastic. You got any other spicy Pan decks you're cooking up right now, Josh?
Always.
Always? You got any last thoughts here before we sign off?
Just fun. Just take your time with the deck. Don't try and rush stuff ever. And if you're going to rush anything, rush the Gogeta 7, the Hero Revived, because it's harder for your opponent to punish. But in all reality, you're trying to control the game and not trying to like pressure your opponent early with this deck.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on and having this conversation with me, showcasing your deck. I know that a few people were asking about it pretty incessantly. Sorry about not getting this out sooner. Schedules didn't exactly line up, but here it is now. Thank you again, Josh, for being here on Crossworld TCG. We'll probably see more from you in the future. Hopefully we'll be able to get a stream started together and get you guys a little bit more content on the weekends, a little bit during the weekday, where we get actual gameplay, actual testing going. Something we've wanted to do for a while, and it's in the pipeline, and it should be on its way very soon. And like I said, it's been Logan here with Crossworld TCG. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hey, welcome to the end card, and thank you so much for sitting through that, because honestly, I'm just doing this until they make a Digimon trading card game. So if you like Dragon Ball Super for some reason, give it a sub up above, maybe check out some of our other content, and do not forget, Digimon is way better than Pokemon. With that being said, we will see you next time.